D.Va, ready for combat.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Everyone signed their life insurance policy?
True self is without form.
Hi.
A chance to focus. Walk in harmony.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Ist so komisch, das aufzunehmen, wenn jemand in meinem Raum ist. Ich bin das nicht gewohnt, das fühlt sich aber unangenehm an. Muss mal gucken, ob... Okay, test. Perfect. Alright, hello and welcome. I'm gonna look over some support coaching, actually. Well, I'm gonna do some support coaching, and I'm gonna look over a VOD code from Kara, who asked to give her some Zen coaching. Zenyatta, of course, a hero that is very vulnerable and also needs a lot of help from his team in general. A huge hero, if he gets value, a huge hero and an annoying hero for an enemy team, but needs certain things to work. He needs, for example, as you know, there are certain compositions where to play Zen, like for example the classic Shanghai Dragons ball dive, which they invented, with Zen Break, Ball D.Va, and Tracer Sombra. Could be other things too, but mostly Shanghai Dragons played with Tracer Sombra. Could also be an Echo, Tracer Echo, Sombra Echo. Can also be a Genji in combination with Sombra or Tracer. It goes on like that. The most important thing for Zenyatta is probably his positioning. The more aggressive you go as a Zenyatta, the higher the possibility that you die sooner or later, due to overextending. Happens to a lot of players because they play Zenyatta like a DPS hero, which in the end he isn't. He's a support hero, and like I said, Zenyatta needs, depending on the enemy comp, a lot of help, because he will be, for example, if the enemy team plays dive, he will be the first target to get dived at. That's why the break, for example, in that ball comp is necessary, because break is intending as sort of a bodyguard for Zenyatta if he gets dived at. If the enemy team plays dive, your team plays the ball dive comp, just as an example, you need that break to protect your Zen, so your Zen has value. Because he, most of the time, if the enemy team, like I said, plays dive, he will be the first dive target. So what we have right now is Eichenwalde defense, for now, is what we're starting at. We have an Ashe, an Baptiste, Junkrat, Zenyatta, and Rein and D.Va. Sort of fine composition for me. I don't mind the Zen. Junkrat, Ashe is fine, Baptiste fine. In my opinion, completely personal opinion for me. It changes from person to person, however you wanted to play. I would have recommended a double shield. Speak a Orisa and Sigma to keep that enemy team at long distance. So the three heroes, Speak Zen, Junkrat, and Ashe, get most of value because you're keeping the enemy team at distance. Just a personal recommendation, like what I prefer, changes from person to person, like I already said. The possibility would also be Orisa and Diva, like I said, to just make that comp as slow as possible, and to slow down the enemy team as much as possible. But even that is fine. It's just a problematic that in this composition, if your Reinhardt gets run over because they are playing a Lucio, not with a shield, which can be problematic for the enemy team, they can just speed on our Ryan, and our Ryan will probably be dead because he doesn't have speed out, and he can get out, but a lot of abilities have to be used. Baptiste needs to focus permanently on him. Maybe he needs to use Lamp. It goes on like that. Diva maybe has to use up all her Matrix to save your Ryan. All such things that could happen. Biggest danger for Zen here now, probably the Tracer, since they're playing Roadhog, Diva, Hanzo, Mercy, Lucio. Most dangerous target in this composition will be Tracer. To maybe look for a flank against the Zenyatta if she gets behind the team. So can also be the Lucio if he decides to red it. If he decides to red it. But that's like the two biggest problems for Zenyatta. Lucio very dependable, but Tracer definitely biggest danger. So in this composition, I would actually, in this composition and setup of the team, first of all, I don't understand why that Ashe is up there. Like, don't need to question that. I would probably just orb the Diva for now. It's always dependable who to give the orb at, but depending that she's so far in for some reason, I would just give the orb to her. Also, that Diva needs sort of that healing, because Ryan will take a lot of that healing from the Baptiste, probably. So I would most of the time keep the orb on Diva. Sometimes maybe if your Baptiste is low, something take it also on the Baptiste. But Baptiste has a lot of has an ability that keeps regenerating his health by himself, which with the right usage of that Baptiste shouldn't be a problem then. That this Baptiste is low HP, but also always worth to keep your support alive. So yeah, I would probably heal orb the Diva or even the Ashe, because for some reason Ashe is very overextending. Preferred Discord targets here as Zenyatta is, in my opinion, the Hawk. They don't have a shield, they just have Matrix, they have reduced healing, they only have, in brackets, they only have Lucio and Mercy healing, which makes them already less healing than your team, than the team with Zenyatta and Baptiste, so they will probably have less healing. Keeping that Discord on Hawk means he has no protection behind a shield, means he will take direct damage by a lot of heroes. If you take Ashe, if you take Junkrat, if you take Zenyatta, the team will have a lot of issues because they have to constantly keep their Roadhog alive with, for example, a Mercy focus healing their Roadhog because he's taking so much damage to try to make space or try to get a good hook. So most preferred target, in my opinion, would be Roadhog in this composition that the enemy team is playing. Always an important thing as Zenyatta is also in that composition, always keep calling your Discord targets. Just so the team knows who to focus at. Because normally the Rhine sort of, or I don't know, maybe the off tank, depends on the team of course, dictates who to focus on. But when Zen is in the team composition, most of the time Zen gives the focus target due to him giving the target the Discord orb. So for example, if you play dive, of course the main tank can decide. If he plays Winston, for example, or Ball, he can decide who to dive at. But most of the time he will pile drive onto people. I'm going with Ball now. If he pile drives on people or into the team, Zen has to discard the target and dictating sort of who is the focus target. Same here. I would just, like I said, keep calling out that Discord is on Hawk, so the Hawk keeps getting focused, so he gets as like the least value possible. Because if you keep that Roadhog on Discord, keep pounding damage into him, he will not be able to sort of close distance for a good hook or something, or just can walk in to get a good hook. If he keeps constantly getting discarded, keep getting that long range damage from Ash, getting those grenades from Junkrat. That's what I think is the winning condition for this composition. Nice kill. Another reason for Discord, for putting Discord on Hawk, is also that the mentality the Hawk just has, you know, just randomly coming around the corner, sort of, or peeking around the corner, hooking the D.Va. He can't do that if he's permanently discarded. He can try it, but he always has in mind that if I go around the corner now and peek with Discord Orb, I can probably die very fast, because there's a lot of damage as soon as he looks around the corner. He's getting a lot of damage into him. And sort of the mentality that you try to put on that Roadhog from your team's position. In this situation, because the fight is still going and there's no possibility for D.Va to maybe jump out of map and come back real fast, I will keep the healing orb on the DMAC D.Va in this situation. So she will most definitely, or has a high chance of not dying, only if she gets like headshotted by Hans or something, but besides that, or gets hooked, but besides that can't die very fast because she has that healing orb on her, makes the possibility bigger that she will get her remake, not like in this situation. This was unfortunate that she died here. It's just that because due to D.Va being demagged, Baptiste has to focus even more on the Reinhardt, because he will not have Matrix that will absorb the damage. Also in this situation, in this composition the team is playing, as Zenyatta, your best friend is not even the Rein shield. The best friend is natural cover. So what you're also trying to do is, they're still trying to go for around the choke. Like, they try to get past the choke. Zenyatta's best friend is natural cover. So like, for example, if people keep peeking that little door there, you can just sit here as Zenyatta, you know, keep peeking and spamming into that little door. You could do the same thing with the choke. You know, just keep here, keep your natural cover, charge your secondary fire up, and just unleash it, and then just, you know, keep doing those peeks. And you can also even do this here. Just like, always peek around the edge, shoot a little. Use natural cover as Zenyatta if you don't have a brick, if you don't have a protector, as much as possible. Because in this composition, in such situations, natural cover will be your best friend as Zenyatta. A very lucky situation that you didn't die there. You should have died there because Roadhog went for you, but he got tired, luckily. What you need to do in this situation, due to the dragon and everything, messing up the positioning of your whole team, is that you back out. Especially Hawk gets rest, and in this situation you're just very vulnerable and by yourself, which means you will die if you stay in this situation. What you can just do is just go around here and even keep high ground. And if someone goes to you or comes at you, you can just try to drop here, go back here into that little room, can even rotate around here. All possibilities that would be considerable in this situation.
Overconfidence is a flimsy shield.
Like I said, in this situation, you want, or the composition the team's playing right now, also swapping to Torbjorn, is now that you want to spam out the enemy team as much as possible. Which, for now that they get point, the most probably scenario would be that your whole team takes high ground. Especially Eichenwalde's second point depends a lot on high ground control. If you have high ground control with your hit scans, with your Torbjorn, with your Zenyatta, you will make the whole second point a very annoying situation for the enemy team.
Form up! Join me!
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Show them what you can do.
You will also always keep in mind as Zenyatta, of course if you're very comfortable with your skills and everything, good on you, but most of the time you don't want to be challenging anyone by yourself as Zenyatta. Try to always stay with your team. Like I said, as Zenyatta, your team is your best friend. Brig is your best friend. Heroes like this, D.Va is your best friend. Just Zen needs to be protected at any cost. Like keeping Hanzo away from this choke, you know, that he can't just randomly peek that, is very good. You're doing the right thing. But like I said, high ground control is very essential on this map, especially on second point. And the thing that you're doing on low ground right now can be done in like so many spots on high ground. You can do it from here, spamming from here. You can spam from here. And if your Ryan sets up with your high ground on your D.Va, you can even spam from here, have free sight on shooting on people. Just gives you a lot more and a lot more safer, in my opinion.
I am under attack.
Also try to use your secondary fire way more. It is those like Hanzo keeps spamming that choke for a little bit of time, but if you don't peek that corner, charge your secondary fire up, peek then, shoot at him, even get a discord on him. First of all, discord also very important because even if you don't mean to shoot that target with discord, still discord it. So you know, sort of, for example, the Lucio or the Hanzo, just so you know where that target is, because of course you can see discord for a certain amount of time behind walls and everything, just to make you a clear sight of where the enemy is. And in such situations, it's also very important that you, for example, keep charging your secondary fire, just to sort of give the enemy Hanzo the danger, sort of, that he can be immediately killed by your secondary fire because you charge it up and just unleash it on him. Just so like you give the Hanzo the mentality of I'm not able to peek this the whole time because I might die. Nice. In this situation again, I would just keep the healing orb on D.Va. Nice chance, very nice chance. Unlucky for your Baptiste. Was not your fault though. I don't know why the Baptiste tried to get away even though you tranced. Happens. Also, trance is of course there to save your team, for example, from a high damage from that dragon, which was very nice positioned by the Hanzo. But don't forget that you sort of need to time Transcendence, like the time remaining, with also getting yourself back in position. It's very important that, for example, you used your Transcendence, all fine, very good Transcendence, but your Transcendence stopped and you sort of were here, like not far away from the enemy team. That shouldn't be the case. You need to time it that once Transcendence stops, you also sort of have position again. Like I said, natural cover is your best friend. Use, for example, this little corner here. Because from this side, if you, for example, keep that you have natural cover, so not everyone can just shoot you randomly. You can just hide here. But you have also a clear side, because you have no protection from like a break or something, where the enemy could come. They could be maybe on high ground, from main, or from right side. Those are the only ways that an enemy team could come at you. Also behind, but that would just take a little bit longer. Would also be a possibility, but that's sort of your D.Va also to deal with, because you also need that PLS Zenyatta. Also, not only Hawk is a very good target in here, D.Va is also a very good Discord target in the enemy team's composition, because if you reconsider, they have no shield, they have a Roadhog. Their only sort of protection is D.Va with her Matrix. So what you can do is keeping the Discord on the D.Va, because once the enemy D.Va is demagged, they don't have any protection from your team's damage. They don't have a shield, they don't have Matrix then. Also a very nice target to Discord. In this situation where your team loses the fight, you can do two things. If you see a possibility to get out, then do that. Like just back out until you're maybe on the side of your healer, or if you're back to your team, if it's possible for you. Or die immediately. If the fight is lost and there's no reason to back out because your team is too far away, they will probably chase you and kill you. Just don't become a hard stagger for your team. Just go in, like fully go in on the enemy team, die very fast, so you can respawn also very fast.
A temporary setback. Need healing.
Nice bomb. Very nice bomb. Thought I heard something from outside. Nice. A reason for also keeping that healing up on your D.Va, in my opinion, is that things like this are possible for her then. Like, she knows she has that healing orb on her, which means she can be a bit more aggressive because she will get that healing.
Under attack.
Get me.
In this composition, it can work because, like I said, Ana and Zen can always work, but you're very vulnerable right now. This is a very vulnerable support composition, which I said can work, but most of the time you play it with you play an Ana break or you play in break Zen, but you also don't play that with Brawl. So yeah, what I would do here is set up in here. Like I said, natural cover, best friend always, Zenyatta. Of course, you can even go here and just, keep the tree as your cover, but it's not a safe cover if you get what I mean. It's not a wall or something. I will just try to set up here because you still have full sight of main, full sight of left, and even full sight of right and behind you. Or you just bag out completely because, like I said, the danger of them, what's actually happening right now, that they are flanking, is high. So you just could also stand here sort of as Zenyatta because you can still spam main, but you also have the whole left side where they could flank in your side. So you can spam them on the left side. If they are trying to flank, you can spam main, shoot main sort of, even go a little bit further, shoot main. And you're also not so much dependable on your Ana because if you position here and people shoot at you, get at you, you can just back out, grab Mega even, go out again so you're full HP, or even back out a little bit more to spawn. Nice. Nice discard target. Sort of kind of stupid that your Junkrat mined him, so he goes up in the air. Because I think if he didn't mind him, combined with the discord, if you could have just spammed him, he would have died. That's what I think, at least.
Is charging.
What you also need to reconsider here is that I now have an Ashe within Mercy, if Mercy stays with Ashe, of course. Makes yourself even more rethinking your positioning, because you don't want to give the Ashe free sidelines for her to shoot at you, which, for example, she's doing right now with high ground. Although, if she's by herself without a pocket, you can try against the Ashe to keep as long range as possible, because Zenyatta's damage doesn't change the longer the range. Like, you can even shoot the Ashe from here and do full damage. It's not the case with Ashe. Ashe's damage fall off with range. So, for example, such a position is good, because if she considers high ground, you can see that side, shoot her from there. If she peeks over there, the middle, you can shoot her. If she peeks right side on high ground, you can shoot her. Just denying her to freely shoot at your team. And also lowers your danger as Zenyatta by yourself, because see where your Ana's setting up? This is, for example, a preferred situation. Because, for example, if she shoots at you from there and you feel unsafe, you can grab Mega, you can keep natural cover, just hide here. You can hide here from main, so Ashe can shoot at you, can still look at left side, looking to deny flanks. All things that are possible.
Overconfidence is a flimsy shield. Be one with the universe. I am under Experience tranquility.
Nanoboost administered.
60 seconds. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Problem sort of what I saw here was, like I said, you used your trance, but you sort of stopped in the middle of the point, like in the middle of the enemy team. You could have tranced and like still to deny the flank on from left side. Could have set up like here. Because as Zenyatta, you don't always have to do a lot of damage. Discord is enough, for example. If you keep discording targets that go around point, your Reinhardt can keep swinging and will get him sooner or later. And you would have been safe on that position. Because if Bob, for example, pulled around or you saw the whole hog coming around the flank, you could just, like I said, back out to Mega and you would get out.
A temporary setback. Gaze into the iris. Gaze into the iris.
A preferred positioning could be... Depends how far your Reinhardt sets up. Could be here. You know, so you have the whole choke and sides if you, for example, peek here. But still can hide behind the pillows. Like use them as natural cover. You could even probably, but it's a sort of a dangerous call, could just use high ground with that wood on here. I don't know how to call it. The barricade. I don't know the English word for it. If you set up here, keep the barricade. You even have some sort of natural cover that can protect you, but it's not a very safe spot. If your Rhine sets it really far, for example, if your Rhine takes, I hate that it's so slow in Overwatch. If your Rhine takes that choke, for example, sort of that way here, if he considers to take such a spot, or even sort of here, you can even set up here to have better sides of choke, or even set up here to still have your natural cover, but also full sight of the enemy team and the choke. But it's very dependable on how far your Reinhardt sets up.
A temporary setback. Gaze into the eyes.
I mean, this is an unlucky hook on you, of course. But it even strengthens my way of saying, for example, this would be a good way to set up, because if you see right here, if you would set up as Zenyatta over here, you have full sight of their tanks. You can just spam and shoot at them, discarding them, but you could also keep that natural cover, which means you, of course, with that range you can't be hooked, but you also have cover to hide. You could even like variate your positioning over here, because you can shoot them from here. If Tracer, for example, goes now right side, you can rotate around, take that little spot. If they get that pay around the corner, you can set up here, spam them from here. If you get dived into the spawn, you can just back out and spawn, you know?
Adversity is an opportunity for change.
Take cover!
Oh shit. Ooh. Ana's also a good target here, or a very important target to sort of keep healing all that, because Ana often takes a lot of damage, and that's how I play, at least Ana. I don't nade myself that often, because I keep my nade most of the time for my team or for the enemy team. For example, if they play a hog, I try to anti the hog as much as possible, or keep using the nade for my team. So Ana has self-healing, but if you use that nade for the enemy team or your team, you don't have a lot of healing then for yourself. Which means an AWP on her is also very important sometimes. If she's low HP, of course. If she's full HP, put the AWP on D.Va again, in my opinion. That's how I would prefer it. This is sort of what I mean with that positioning. Because if you would have set up, for example, right here, bomb could kill you with that range, but you could just hide behind here for a second until it explodes, and then you can peek again. Just a better positioning.
Seconds remaining.
Adversity is an opportunity for change.
Justice delivered. Nano boost is ready to deploy.
There is chaos within you.
Nice, come on. Don't too far, don't get too far.
10 seconds remaining.
Hold on to hiding, Jill. Not your engines.
Experience.
Oh damn. Mercy couldn't touch.
Score 0-2. Switching sides.
So,
initiating match.
in my opinion, I don't need to review a tag, because I think I sort of know already what to sort of tell you for the league game, at least, or for the next VOD review. Of course, I want another VOD sooner or later, again from you, Kara, but with improvement that you sort of do those things. So what is important for me now? What do we take from this? Let me just sort of get over there. Wait. Assemble your heroes.
Ready for battle.
We'll just do that.
Reclaim my
That would be
master's
enough.
armor.
I'm not gonna review a tag because I first want to see improvement, and like I've seen sort of enough. Your Zen is good, but your mechanical skills on Zen are good, but there are sort of things that you forget. Let's say it like this. As for example, positioning, very important as Zen. I want for you to sort of learn, if you play maps on Zen, to always think for yourself, okay, which position right now would be the most safest for me, where I'm the most safe, but still get a lot of value. Like, for example, where can I hide a lot? Where can I back out a lot? Where is, for example, if you don't have a brick or something that keeps healing you, where is a position where I have natural cover, but also a health pack next to me? Like here, for example, or even over there on the right side. There's a health pack. Keep that in mind here, for example. You can sort of, depending on, for example, how far your team is. If your Rhine is already around the choke, you can set up sort of right here Spam them from here. If you get damage, you don't have to ask your healer, sort of 100% necessary for healing, but you can get the health effect by yourself. If they push further on point, you can set up here, sort of shoot from here. Danger is big though that you can get from the right side. As an example, for example, that this is what I mean. Reconsidering, am I safe on this position? Do I have enough natural cover? Do I get enough value on this position as Zenyatta? If you set up here, for example, the danger is still big that they come back to touch point, get you from that right side. So this would be, for example, a safer situation. You have full control on point. You can see full point, but you can use natural cover, like here, for example. You know, keep peeking around here. You can take that little thing, peek around here. But for example, where's the danger? If you peek here, where's the danger? They could just go from that little room out here, can get out here, can immediately see you. They can get up from right side, just get you. So these are things that I want you to reconsider for the next VOD review. Here would be also a possibility. You have full sight on that main room. You can't see fully right side, but for example, they could also come from left side, but not a lot of people do that. You have full sight of that choke, as an example. So this is sort of things that I want you to reconsider for the next VOD code that you gave me. It's sort of reconsider your positioning. Am I safe in here? Do I get a lot of value on this position, but do I still feel safe as Zenyatta? Or prioritization. Who do you think, if you reconsider their abilities, is a good target to discard? Hawk, for example. They play Diva Hawk. Hawk is a very preferred target because you sort of make hell for him that he can't just go in, hook and kill a person, and then just use his healing and then get out. That doesn't work if you keeping the discard on him, keep spamming him. Same goes, for example, for a Ball. Same goes for a Winston. Same goes for a Doomfist. Same goes for even a Tracer, because the Tracer is very squishy and she will have the danger to get in then. If you sort of get what I mean. Also heal targets. Consider like which of your teammates probably need the most healing. Or would benefit from your healing orb. For example, like I said, Diva. Diva can contest high ground, for example, very good over here. Let's just say she can contest that very good. Keep flying up, peeking it a little bit, matrixing, controlling high ground. If she still has that orb, I also prefer that Harmony orb, she will get bonus healing. And can peek that more often, can go more confident, you know, more aggressive, because she won't get punished that easily. The Reinhardt Brawl, always okay to the healer Reinhardt. Like I said, Ana, for example. If you have an Ana that uses her nade more for the team or for enemies, that you give her that orb so she gets healing as well. But also always make sure that the healing orb and discord orb is on someone. That's also a very important lesson for today. It doesn't matter sometimes who it is on, as long as it is on someone. Just to sort of know where that person positions, where the enemy team positions. If you have that discord orb on someone, for example, so you just know, like behind walls and everything, where they at. But also just the like danger for the enemy. Like, okay, I have discord on, I will get more damage. I can't go that aggressive. Those are such things that you need to learn as a Zen player. All in all, like I said, very good mechanical skills as Zenyatta, very high potential. It's sort of the basics that you need to get done. Like I said, positioning or prioritization, all things that I've taught so far in that defense right now, which you need to get sort of burnt in your mind as a Zen player, if you want to be a Zen player. If you get those things sorted, you will be a very good Zen. Best believe. High hopes from me. Like I said, mechanical skills are sorted, very good. It's just those little things. that I just told in that Vault review that you need to reconsider and do as a Zenyatta, and then you will be a very good Zenyatta player. So yeah, that's it for now. I think I gave, for the beginning, enough input in, and